Dear student, this is my second lecture on the Tempest written by William Shakespeare, presented by Professor Dr. Muhammad Aminul Haque. There will be some key points in these lectures. One, the play, The Tempest. This is my second lecture on the Tempest of William Shakespeare, the greatest playwright of the world. The major point imbued with the sense of importance are as follows. Romances used by the playwright and their lessons taught by the characters. Romantic love between Ferdinand and Miranda. Caliban's reaction toward Prospero and its legitimacy. Final talks conveyed by Ariel. Mingling of romance and realism. And reconciliation among the characters. It is important to discuss the point one by one. First point, I would like to discuss this first point. Romances used by the playwrights and their lessons taught by the characters. Shakespeare was a romantic dramatist. He uses romances in many plays, namely As You Like It and many others. Here, The Tempest is no exception to this. He uses romances in The Tempest very clearly and vividly. When Ferdinand is placed to the Prospero cell by Ariel, there creates a romantic scene. There creates a romantic scene between Ferdinand, the son of the king of Alonso, and Miranda, the daughter of Prospero. Ferdinand did not see this kind of beautiful lady in his life. At the very beginning, Ferdinand thinks that she is a goddess. But she is a female girl. She is a girl. So, here, when Ferdinand, sees Miranda at first sight, Ferdinand falls in love with Miranda at first sight. So, Ferdinand thinks she is a goddess with whom he falls in love at first sight. Similarly, Miranda falls in love with Ferdinand too at first sight. She did not see this kind of handsome creature except her father, Prospero, in her life. They love each other deeply, and Prospero is pleased with the depth of Ferdinand's love for Miranda. The island is a new place of discovery where Prospero and Miranda feel charmed in this situation. It is also full of romance. When Alonso and his lovers are reconciled to Prospero in the island, it is a sense of romance to them. The marriage ceremony of Ferdinand and Miranda takes place in this romantic island. So the sense of romance prevails here very clearly. My next point, romantic love between Ferdinand and Miranda. Romantic love between Ferdinand and Miranda is a point of great discussion in the play The Tempest. Prospero makes the ship wrecked at sea by his magic spell. While passengers on board are scattered and Ferdinand, the Prince of Naples, is taken to Prospero's cell by Ariel, where he finds Miranda, the daughter of Prospero. Ferdinand thinks she is a goddess. She falls in love with Miranda at first sight. Similarly, Miranda falls in love with Ferdinand at first sight. So they love each other at first sight. Here, romantic feeling and love arouse between these two young personalities. When Prospero tests Ferdinand's love for Miranda by ordering him to carry heavy logs of wood, Miranda could not tolerate it. This feeling of romantic love creates a sense of passion and sentiment between Ferdinand and Miranda. Prospero arranges the max. The max is represented by Ariel and other spirits, namely Iris, Jones, Iris, Kiris, Nasiris, and many others. Prospero reconciled with Alonso and other lords in the island. This marriage between Ferdinand and Miranda takes place in the island happily. So, this love, romantic love between Ferdinand and Miranda is very charmful in the play, and the audience would be very delighted to see this romantic love between these two lovers. One is beloved and another is lover. So this is the romantic love between Ferdinand and Miranda in the island. Caliban's reaction toward Prospero and its legitimacy. You know, Caliban is the son of a witch, and this Caliban rules the island, and there also live Ariel and other spirits live in this island. So Prospero arrives at this place, at this island, after his banishment from Milan. Caliban is a half human and half monster instinct. He does not accept Prospero's usurpation of this island because Caliban is governing the island well. So Caliban does not take or does not accept this usurpation by Prospero. He revolts against Prospero time and again. He plans to proceed to Miranda for consuming his amorous desire, but Prospero knows it anyhow and punishes him with draggery. Prospero does not tolerate this kind of activities by Caliban. As a result, Prospero punishes Caliban severely. He plans to kill Prospero with Stefano and Trinculo, but it is conveyed to Prospero by Ariel. So, Caliban finds opportunity to kill Prospero. And when Caliban meets Stefano and Trinculo, Caliban and Stefano has been drunk. Similarly, Stefano is a great drunkard. And so these three drunkards plan to kill Prospero. Here Caliban promises to Stefano, if Stefano manages to kill Prospero, Caliban would be the lifelong servant of Stefano. Then Stefano promises to Caliban to do so. But it is exposed by Ariel to Prospero. And Prospero is conveyed this by Ariel. So here Prospero is very furious, and Prospero also punishes Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo by Ariel. This trio have been thrown into a filthy ponds, as if they will suffer there. As a result, they are thrown into the filthy pond. Caliban has his legitimate rights to govern the island, as he the heir to this island from his paternal and maternal sides. Due to the cause of legitimacy, Caliban is the real heir to this island from his paternal and maternal side. And he is the original instinct to live in this island. He is the inhabitant of this island. So Prospero has his legitimacy to rule this island. So it is his right to rule the island, and is occupied, but this island is occupied by Prospero forcefully from Caliban. During this period, the British government started its expansion of kingdom all over the world. Shakespeare uses this term in relation to occupation. So he has shown Prospero as a ruler as well as the occupier in a new island, represented in the Tempest. Final tax conveyed by Ariel. Prospero orders Ariel finally, when they Prospero Alonso and his lords will go to Milan, he means Ariel will be totally free from all his duties and services. Ariel carries on this wager like the previous ones, as Prospero was his absolute master. Prospero was the master of Ariel. Prospero makes the ship wrecked at sea by Ariel. Prospero brought all passengers of the ship to the shore by Ariel. Prospero brings Ferdinand to Prospero's sail. Prospero manages how to fall in love with each other, that is between Ferdinand and Miranda. And Miranda and Ferdinand are happy getting married. Prospero has done a great thing by Ariel and Ariel's other spirit. All the spirit carry one Prospero's orders. And Ariel is a confident servant to Prospero. Prospero orders Ariel to punish Caliban, Trinculo, and Stefano. As a result, this trio were thrown to the filthy pond, because these three conspirators conspire against Prospero to kill Prospero. So here, Ariel is a confident servant to Prospero. Ariel arranges the ceremony of the marriage ceremony. Many spirits come to this marriage ceremony, and they showers blessing flowers one the two lovers, romantic lovers. One is beloved, another is lover, that is Ferdinand and Miranda, in this sunny island, in this new island. So it was very charming to enjoy. Ariel saves Prospero many times. So Prospero is somewhat lovable to Ariel. Is lovable to Ariel. And now Prospero wants to release Ariel from his services. When all the personages like Alonso, Sebastian Antonio, Gonzalo, and other courtiers were reconciled to Prospero, then this marriage ceremony has been arranged by Ariel. Ariel takes his responsibility to make the ceremony beautiful and dignified. And he also calls his other spirit to make this ceremony dignified. Here, Ariel is a confidence instinct to Prospero. Ariel, that is, the marriage ceremony is over, and Ariel calls the other sailors from their happy slumber. The other sailors have been awakened by Ariel, and the other sailor saved their ship. Other sailors see their ship safe, and the sailor also finds this situation is very congenial. The sea is very calm and quiet this time to sail for Naples or Milan. Prospero asks Ariel finally, after this night, in the morning, they, means Prospero, Alonso, and other lords and other sailors, will start for Milan, will start for Naples. But Prospero would like to go to Milan, and so Prospero plans to go to Milan, and he would be the Duke of Milan again there. So after their departure, after the departure of these personages, including Prospero, Miranda, Ferdinand, Alonso, Sebastian, Antonio, and Gonzalo, and sailors, Ariel will be totally free from his duties. So Ariel carries on this weather like the previous one, as Prospero was his absolute as Prospero was his absolute master. This is another point, mingling of romance and realism. The play, The Tempest, is the mingling of romance and realism. We, the audience, find the mixture of romance and realism in The Tempest. Prospero sets Ferdinand in his cell by magic, and Ferdinand thinks that Miranda is a goddess. Ferdinand falls in love with Miranda at first sight, and Miranda falls in love too with Ferdinand at first sight. So Miranda shows her sympathy when Prospero orders Ferdinand to carry logs of wood. It makes us clear that Ferdinand loves Miranda, Miranda loves Ferdinand. They have their true love. Finally, they are married with each other in the presence of Alonso, Antonio Sebastian, and other lords and courtiers. So they are happy. In their conjugal life. Realism is also important in the play. Prospero, along with his little daughter, has to face this realistic situation when he is banished from Milan by his brother Antonio. As Prospero was a studious man, Prospero reads book and undergoes meditation. A man of letters. He studies books, studies magic, he studies book, he is a lover of books. So he could not manage his time to give sufficient time for ruling his country, for ruling his dukedom. As a result, Antonio, his own brother, plans to banish him from the dukedom of Milan. Antonio conspires with Alonso, the king of Naples, and his brother Sebastian. Now, Prospero is banished from the Duke of Milan by his brother Antonio. In this position, Prospero has no consolation except Gonzalo, the courtier. Gonzalo shows his sympathy toward Prospero. Gonzalo comes to help him in his critical time because Prospero has to take his daughter's responsibility. His daughter Miranda is a little girl. So, Miranda does not know what life is. So, in this critical time, Gonzalo comes to help Prospero and his daughter Miranda. Here, it is a critical point, it is a critical time. So, Prospero is now in a critical position. Then Gonzalo helps him. Gonzalo, the courtier, keeps some books, keeps the books of Prospero and some necessary things. One, the board. And Prospero, along with his little daughter Miranda, crosses the sea and goes to a new island. And this island is the island of Caliban. And after some time, Prospero became the ruler of this island, usurping Caliban, or by usurping Caliban. So it is the realism faced by Prospero and his little daughter Miranda. Alonso, Antonio Sebastian, and other lords and sailors face realism in the island after the shipwreck. It is true. Alonso, Antonio Sebastian, and other courtiers face realism in this island. Their ship is wrecked at sea. They are saved critically. They are taken by Ariel to the shore of this island, but it is a new island. There is no food for them. There is no any accommodation for these passengers. So Prospero arranges accommodation, banquet for these passengers. Though they have done wrong to Prospero many years ago, Prospero orders Ariel to supply the banquet to them, but the banquet disappears. How does we mean it? It means that Alonso, Sebastian, Antonio have done wrong to Prospero many years ago. So they should be harassed. Prospero harasses them by Ariel, and Ariel reminds them of their misdeed done to Prospero many years ago in Milan. If they are not repentant, they will face death and they will face defamation. They will suffer long. So they are repentant and they express their penetration, express their idea that they have done wrong. They have done wrong to Prospero. And Prospero also forgives them at that time. And it is the realism. For this person is like Alonso Antonio Sebastian. Caliban faces realism. Caliban, Stefano, and Trinquillo faces realism. Caliban plans to kill Prospero, but Caliban has been punished by Ariel. Caliban, Stefano, and Trinquillo are punished in a filthy pond. So it is the realism of these characters like Caliban, Stefano, and Trinquillo. So there is a mingling of romance and realism in the play The Tempest. My last point I would like to discuss: reconciliation among the characters. At the end of the play, Prospero, Alonso, Antonio, Sebastian are reconciled. When Alonso, Antonio, and Sebastian repent for their misdeed, Prospero forgives them. Prospero thinks that these person like Alonso, Antonio, and Sebastian commit wrong many years ago. But Prospero is a man of justice, is a man of broad heart, is a man of humanity, so he forgives them. As a result, they are forgiven by Prospero as they are repentant for their misdeed. Here, Prospero returns toward Caliban, Stefano, and Trinquillo from their draggery. Prospero punishes Caliban, Stefano, and Trinquillo, but this time he do not like to continue punishment for this person, and Prospero relents toward Caliban, Stefano, and Trinquillo from their draggery. He releases Ariel when Prospero, along with the other lords, leave for island. Ariel was a very confident servant to Prospero, and Ariel also carries all duties to Prospero, and Prospero is pleased with Ariel. So Ariel is going to be released by Prospero. So Prospero releases Ariel after they depart for Milan or Naples. So they are reconciled to each other at the end of the play, The Tempest. This is the end of my lecture on the play The Tempest. Thank you all.